Hello and good day. I am Prescylla Kristyn Kiok from Universiti Malaysia, Sabah, and on behalf of my team, I would like to present you our paper. The title of our paper is The Experiences of Pre-Service Teachers Teaching Practicum During the COVID-19 Pandemic, a Systematic Literature Review. First of all, before I start, I would like to thank the committee of this conference in making this a success. I will now start my presentation. Introduction. The COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in the prohibition of close contact, and this has led to the abrupt closure of schools and universities across the country. This unprecedented issue has caused many institutions to struggle in handling teaching and learning, as well as lack of clarity in administering students' assessment. The face-to-face education has shifted to online platforms as the conventional classroom settings are unavailable. The COVID-19 global pandemic has altered the design and structure of our traditional education programs, and teacher education is no exception. Therefore, this is a huge issue for teacher education programs, as final year students will not be able to fully experience the working environment in a school during teaching practicum. Problem statement. Teaching practicum is a critical component in graduating an education student. Ideally, teaching practicum is required a classroom setting and real school environment, as the challenges presented is unique and could not be replicated. During the pandemic, this affects the pre-service teachers' professional learning and preparedness for the teaching profession, as well as unable to properly demonstrate their abilities to the mentor teacher and university supervisor. Due to the possibility of a prolonged lockdown and this becoming the norm in teaching, hence the need to explore pre-service teachers' experiences to understand how to help them to learn online and prepare them to effectively teach online in the future. Research objective. The research objective of this paper is to explore the lived experiences of pre-service teachers teaching practicum during the COVID-19 pandemic. Thus, the research question is, what are the lived experiences of pre-service teachers teaching practicum during the COVID-19 pandemic? Methodology. This paper conducted a systematic literature review where it differs from traditional narrative review. It helps to collect all related publications and documents that fit our predefined inclusion criteria to answer a specific research question. The search strategy. The first step to the search strategy of this paper is identifying vital keywords and phrases in order to answer the research objectives. The keywords considered are teaching practicum or teaching practice, pre-service teachers or student teachers, and COVID-19. The search was done by using UMS library subscribed databases. Scopus and ProQuest were used to search and obtain relevant articles. The keywords were used on the subscribed databases to obtain a list of relevant articles. Flowchart of the inclusion and exclusion process. Firstly, inclusion criteria, identifying the inclusion criteria needed to achieve the objective. Secondly, keywords. Keywords like teaching practicum and pre-service teachers were used on the subscribed databases to obtain a list of relevant studies. Third, year. The first inclusion criterion was that the articles were published within the time frame from 2020 to 2021. This is to ensure the studies were relevant to the COVID-19 pandemic. Fourth, language. The next inclusion is that the articles were in English. Fifth, document type. The search was limited to only full-text journal articles or scholarly articles for the document type criteria. 6. Exclusion of irrelevant articles and duplicates. These articles were then exported from the databases to Microsoft Excel for easy access to further screening and reviewing process. The screening and reviewing was conducted by analyzing the title and abstract of each of the articles to determine its relevance to the research questions. Articles that were not relevant to the research questions were excluded. Inclusion criteria of the systematic review. After undergoing screening based on the inclusion criteria, there are only a total of 48 relevant articles remaining. Exclusion criteria. After undergoing screening based on the exclusion criteria, the 48 remaining relevant articles has been cut down to only 8 relevant articles. Findings. Countries involved in the reviewed articles. The countries involved in the reviewed articles are Malaysia, South Africa, United States, Romania, Ghana, Colombia, and Pakistan. Methods used in the reviewed articles. As shown in the figure, there are an equal number of articles that employed qualitative and quantitative methods, which are 4 studies respectively. There are no articles that employed mixed method. After reading and analyzing the 8 relevant articles, we found that the pre-service teachers' teaching practicum experiences can be categorized into intrapersonal development or interpersonal development. Intrapersonal development mentioned in this study refers to the pre-service teachers' personal experiences regarding their intrapersonal growth during the teaching practicum, such as attitudes towards the change, hence their readiness and acceptance to the new normal. Interpersonal development refers to the pre-service teachers' growth resulting from their communication with their institutions, university supervisors, or mentor teacher. Intrapersonal development. Most pre-service teachers are able to respond positively towards online learning and teaching. The pre-service teachers show tendency towards accepting the transition and portray readiness during their teaching practicum. The pre-service teachers have high motivation and self-directed learning. They also understood the importance of the role as a teacher and the use of technology to overcome the challenges during the pandemic. Pre-service teachers have a moderate level of self-esteem where they are sometimes not confident in online learning and teaching. However, if the pre-service teachers were able to have a positive attitude towards the change, their self-esteems are higher than those who have a negative attitude. The pre-service teachers were quick to adapt and show moderate positivity towards the impact of the change in education, but their opinion of the effectiveness of the change is low. Most negative perceptions are towards online teaching and their lack of learner control, ITC efficacy, and the students' lack of commitment and motivation. Overall, the pre-service teacher seems to have a positive perception towards the change as they understood the importance of the transition from face-to-face learning to online learning during the pandemic. Interpersonal development. Based on the analysis of reviewed studies, higher education institutions have taken action to provide opportunities for pre-service teachers to experience professional development during teaching practicum. Educational institution providing opportunities to pre-service teachers by supporting them through the abrupt switch to online learning and teaching with appropriate instructional strategies in course for teacher education. Online collaborations with schools and families were also implemented to ensure pre-service teachers' experiences and efficient online teaching and learning. One study compiled a list of responses from pre-service teachers towards COVID-19 regarding teaching practicum. The institution fosters communication between pre-service teachers and teacher mentors. Other than that, ensures careful evaluation whether placement schools meet the need of pre-service teachers and is virtual friendly during the teaching practicum. All of the pre-service teachers were able to complete the teaching practicum. One of the reviewed articles shows providing feedback and having a reliable platform for opportunities can overcome problems during teaching practicum. Thus, it is important to have a reliable platform for exchanging constructive feedback between pre-service teachers and mentor teachers or university supervisors. In conclusion, a positive or negative teaching practicum experiences highly depends on the institution as much as the pre-service teachers depends on themselves. Education institutions can provide guidance and opportunities to pre-service teachers in their professional development. Conclusion. Based on the discussion, the findings show that the lived experiences of pre-service teachers teaching practicum during the COVID-19 pandemic are generally positive, as most findings shows pre-service teachers to have a positive attitude toward the unprecedented transition of face-to-face learning to online learning. Although in the face of challenges and difficulties to the point some may be less motivated and have low self-esteem, pre-service teachers understood their role as an educator and appreciate the use of technology to allow them an opportunity to undergo teaching practicum during the pandemic. Results also show that education institutions also play a big role in the pre-service teachers' experiences, as they also strive for solutions to ensure pre-service teachers' learning and professional development are achieved. Therefore, this study recommends future researchers to include more databases in their search for more relevant articles to obtain a broader overview of the study. Moreover, future studies focusing on a more specific theme or demographic variables can be conducted.